step 2, make your pick. And step 3, is now.
Now, I can't help it that I'm made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. This America, if I want to win twice, you ever go against that? In my car, hangs girls, a $250,000 pill poppers and pistols, y'all. Bands stay around. Got them back from Frisco, y'all. Lost a package, hit a wall. Got it back, I'm sitting tall. Maybe that's the reason that my wrist look like a disco ball. Born to dance, me, let's take it to the disco, y'all. Remember, I ain't right for a year straight. I drank Cisco, y'all. This when I was 17. Basketball, hollow tips, they first saw, of course, the nigga that's scholarship. I ain't kid, never kid. Now I'm from politics. King of Harlem took me on that path. Please acknowledge it. Towers fell, power game, still like the sour porn. I ain't talking makeup when niggas was in that power room. A lot of Fiends coughing up mucus, give me mine. Hurry up, clean that up. I'm still the cutest. Baby 23, she on me like killer. You still the cutest. Then she got naked. Honey, so you're a nudist. Who still move heroin? 3D suit with the rollie on. Stamp stay fresh. Should've named this shit Pokemon. That's how fiends was acting like niggas looking for Pokemon. Me, I made a left to get it right. I know I'm wrong. What's going on? Still flowing strong. Niggas struggling out, they just holding on. I'm Aaron Rodgers, turn around, I'm going long. I dig the car, on your knees, blow the horn. Mr. Winter, spring 2, summer 4. I'm DIA, what's that? Done it all. Baby, turn around, yeah, you the one I call. I'm pressing what you want, I looked and said none of y'all. Gold bottling, hoes hollering, funky fresh in the flesh, they caress, call following. A King Solomon, look at him, not a thing bothers him. On again, snatch siblings up, I really on it. The rap game be mine, I really want it. I stack hundreds, sit back, blinded, this cat's done it. I tore bitches out of ball like Pat Summit. To have a win and flew in first class. To bag it up, you need 12 and a nurse smash. Yeah, boy, you looking at a dirt bag. 50 keys in the tub, that's a real bird bath. Shit, all you motherfucking purse snatch. So you seen me, you never heard the word swag. Nope, you never heard the word swagger. Shout to dead man, but I define the word dapper. Dapper Kim, no clothes on, got a prodigy. Snap your brain with your nose bone. Shit, got that line from the infamous Black Trump though. Look at my apprentices. Shit, trying to finish all my sentences. I call my niggas up and we can start the senselessness. I'm a chemist, platoons in your mouth, no dentist society. Yeah, they know me, no movie, you're true menace. Lieutenants sit off the tenants, some tenants right off a Lennox. Forgot that they owed us money, we just took out his appendix.
Me, I be sending them hard jokes straight to the county. They get out, I get them a gusto. I done been stuck in the trenches, I dance with the devil. And I took drugs to my uncle. And I gave niggas the lean, the weed, the drugs. I did that shit off the muscle. All of these niggas be having them niggas, they claim they love them. I did it with nothing. You in the streets with nothing. I'm doing all I can, they need for nothing. Whenever them people come, why you gon' walk them bitch like the beef or something? I'm trying to delete, I hop in the Jeep for weeks. I couldn't sleep for nothing. I like to preach, and I use that to the streets like I got the keys for something. I take drugs when I feel lonely. Ride with my gun when I feel lonely. I sleep around killers when I feel lonely. I smoke on my bitches when I feel lonely. Told my brother we fuck on no condoms, but we having babies all over. I used to be around niggas I love for real, but they had to hate on their shows. I was in the kitchen, niggas water whipping, and I feel like they was hitting the yo. And it was blowing my man, I landed in Cali, the bitch was hitting the coke. Called them, came to the crib, told them get the room, cause niggas can't sleep on the sofa. I was taking Percocets, he was off the water, that nigga was deep in the ocean. I gotta get it in motion. I study, look over my shoulders. I'm beating my kids with emotion. Pass me a Tesla, I'm rolling. Wake me up, cause them perks call me. Mikey Ike, yeah, that's my dog. You know I'm straight there whenever you call me. Keep it street, what you mean, something? I fell asleep with the knee on. These whole carrots, I can feed on. Only the family, it's all my family. I love my family, I don't need home. I take drugs when I feel lonely. Ride with my gun when I feel lonely. I sleep around killers when I feel lonely. I smoke on my bitches when I feel lonely.
On FanDuel Sportsbook, new customers can bet 30-to-1 odds on any team in the playoffs, so you can make every catch feel like the catch of a lifetime.
Turbo. I'm about to start making it all for these things. Got 40s, got max, got nines, got triggers on me. I can't stop popping these pills cause they help me sleep. Got 20 O's with me right now, I'm like, these hoes on me can't tell me no. Pull it right now and take my soul. Trap boy, my house don't close. Pull it right now, cause 16. I'm living it feel like a dream. All these free bands, I feel like a casino. All of this trap and I feel like I'm Nino. I see my car and they yelling out bingo. Got double cheese on all of my fabric. Don't see these rappers can't fuck with my passion. Don't think about it, that's when I'm relaxing. We do designer, we don't do the matches. I just be 600 on some rats. My day and limits, I'm so lasting. Girl, I'm pussy crazy, I can't last in it. If I take this bond off, then I'm gon' splash in it. I'm about to start making it all for these niggas. My 40s got max, got nines, got triggers on me. I can't stop popping these pills cause they help me sleep. Got 20 O's with me right now, I'm my Airbnb. These hoes I'm with can't tell me no. Pull it right now and take my soul. Trap boy night, my house don't close. Pull it right now, cause 16 O's. Bitch, if I sensei and duck on your hood, they leave shells. You know we just grip on me and mine don't take no L's. But then you know it's set in stone. If that bitch ain't fucking, tell that bitch to leave me alone. I done turned the Gucci store into my second home. Every bitch that work there got my number in their phone. I'm about to start making it all for these niggas to eat. My 40s got max, got nines, got triggers on me. I can't stop popping these pills cause they help me sleep. Got 20 O's with me right now on my Airbnb. These hoes I'm with can't tell me no. Pull it right now and take my soul. Trap boy night, my house don't close. Pull it right now, cop 16 O's.
I guess you thought I was 10 dick nigga, I guess you ain't think I don't play her. I guess you thought I was talking about a hoe on the cool little nigga, I don't care. I guess you ain't think that a nigga really hustle, bitch, I can sell something to a snail. I guess you thought that my diamond full gaze nigga got more than a well. I guess you thought you was preaching about a hoe with some beef and no bitch, you trip, you pay. I guess they heard that a nigga fell off, nigga, it was just a brief intermission. I guess they think that a nigga talking slurs, I just got serving my system. I guess they thinking I'm tripping. Nah, these niggas really bitches. All these niggas trying to check what I'm doing, trying to see who I'm screwing, just watch. I speak clear shit, flow, nigga, watch how I move. I can watch why you all in my pocket. Hey, got your main bitch showing all day, she showing it. Yo, bitch, a little bitch down, she got me. Puss up good, and that she throwing the bitch down in my couch. Nigga stepping in the low, it's call her low. That nigga be here, they ain't got no gas. Something I ain't gotta ask him. Hey, yo, whole bunch of free run traps. Hey, hop to the spread, hit a puss nigga about to make a nigga start shaking like a dancer. Shot killing faster than cancer. Hey, freaking bitch said she a cancer. Okay, if that nigga do anything, one plus what I got, that nigga get counted. Hey, if a nigga switch up like a child, hey, must get hit with an hour. Hey, if he get left there, hey, lift his ass up with the hammer. Hey, hit his ass up on camera. Hey, she in this dope, they rappers. Hey, I guess you thought I was still dick nigga, I guess you ain't think I don't play. Hey, I guess you thought I was talking about a hoe on the cool little nigga, I don't care. Hey, I guess you ain't think that a nigga really hustle, bitch, I can see a sound to a smell. Hey, I guess you thought that my dumb fool gaze nigga got more than a well. Hey, I guess you thought you was preaching about a hoe with beef and no bitch, you trip, you pray. I guess they heard that a nigga fell off, nigga, you was just a brief intermission. Hey, I guess they think that a nigga talking slurs, I just got stuck in my system. Hey, I guess they thinking I'm tripping. Nah, these niggas really bitches, bitch.
With YouTube Premium, you can watch as many videos as you want, without pausing for ads. Get into what you're into with ad-free videos. Try it on us.
Got some keys up in home, but they in a slave's house. 2017, I'ma pull that range out. You thinking about the Jeep, I'ma pull my aim out. Cause you yelling game, but don't know what game about. Or to blow your brains out. But I be on that juice. I be moving veggies in, I be moving fruits. Got a line on the plug, nigga, keep me in the loop. Yeah, I lost a little weight, but I still ain't getting sick. Hit you on your cheek and your face going droop. I be in the peace, cause I'm about peace. But I could be 1,000 deep on anybody's street. Always go dumb on the creep with the heatwaves. I don't do cold E's, I don't do witnesses. Niggas talk that murder shit, better know what friction is. Let her hear the gun clap, that's what addiction is. Always did my homework, that's what the mission is. Heavy rhyme burn word, the biggest like syphilis. Catch me lounging out, right there on St. Nicholas. 113th, rated season vegan. Kill when I kill 10, then I say we even. Why the fuck you breathing? I don't even know it, nigga. The feds want us gone. We don't even grow it now. Acting like you know it, nigga, that'll get you killed. Kill Lisa in the coma, act like you know the deal. They put you as a player, act like you know the field. Big niggas like the army, act like you know the drill. Know the nigga.
Catch you out in traffic, it's you and I. Go 41 in a suit and tie. Nigga, it's do or die. See me now. If I lose it all, like who will ride? But nigga, I'm so up. If I trip, it's like suicide. When the internet told me I'm crucified. Devils in them streets, like nigga, you super loud. I was on the block when you was sneaking here. Nigga, it's a check up in that box and a suicide. Nigga, ain't no Nike, ain't no using no drug fight. No way. I came back like a mic went 45. I can see 50 grand when it's all a fine snow. Shooting like the water in stir fire. Swish, only rapper went gold without a verse from home. Still got the rock when he cooking up at the stove. And the world of y'all platinum, no, I went to the joke. Lay back in the hood so them suckers can know. I'm in the six-man, D.I. waiters. And I'm on my level now, also B.I. haters. About to go and grab the big truck, see y'all later. When I came through the block, you should've seen y'all faces. This is slaughter, new world order. I be going hard, Westbrook, fourth quarter. This is hip-hop, you ain't write it, don't record it. I don't know how they getting down across the border. I give them the dirty flow, Michigan and water. Sent them 10,000 cases, I put in my order. Call that popping bottles when my people can afford it. Mixing through 7-Eleven when I'm in Georgia. Views from the projects, a nigga on the prospect. Talking loud, sound, shooting out with metal objects. And that chick standing right beside you, I didn't pop that. Let me be the fin, I'm a feeling like a Martez. Woo! Call Mike from the billboard, about to put it up. Top Cruise, put it in the roof so I can fuck it up. Got the hood super lit, jumping like these double dutch. From the bottom like an uppercut. Now I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. You niggas all the way fucked. Switch sides, now you stuck. Fuck them niggas up.
They don't wanna see you on top, I just wanna see the streets up. They don't wanna see you up, that's it. They gon' take shots when you all the way up. Me, I came up on you, took my talent somewhere else. LeBron James up on you. I was Kyrie with the rock, the crack game #2. Now I'm older, still falling like my name Uncle True. They tell you, stay the same, but they change up on you. Niggas change up the crew like hoes change up they food. I just played the part they done wait till the change up was due. Guess I had to switch the dealer or just change up the shoe. Now blackjack, ace of spade and a shot of jack. I'm in a bad actress, she ain't know how to act. I took her but I brought her back, don't want her back, I brought her back. It's Matt like Hasselback, I call my car the quarterback. If I threw it at her, would you doubt she can catch it? She hang like a chain, so she bout to get snatched. I ain't about throwing subs, I'm about getting scratched. But if the shoe fits, nigga, buy outfit to match. And you know my boys hold it, we be out with the rats. I heard your boys told her you be out with the rats. Keep that on the nothing less, nothing more. I know the bad boys in Brooklyn, they ain't with the puffy talk. What's up with your warriors? They ain't looking tough no more. Shit, get out your feelings, bro. They get in your duffel, bro. Level up, level up. It's all about that level up. Hold that fucking bezel up and light this bitch all the way up. All the way up. All the way up. And every time you see me, nigga, all the way up.
That's the music. Days, well, I figure why not? Me call me a fab, Joe call Jigger. I got you jumped in a 6, 550 wasn't big enough. Reason niggas die, they don't know how to live enough. They can tread water, but they can't swim enough. Nah, I'm built for the physical outing. Besides that, filthy like municipal housing. And all I know is 500 get you 1,000. Yeah, I'm in all the hood spots, you ain't allowed it. Ops in the building, automatically alert that. Hand on the wrist so the chrome don't jerk back. Pull it out, you already know you gotta squirt that. I'm all the way up, I'm where the phones don't work. Yeah, you gon' need a key from the lobby to slide up. That's right. You don't know the key to a body, it's mine up. Tell you born with it, then you ain't gotta get signed up. Gotta go when you gotta go, your time's up. Gone standoff, no need in keeping the nines tough. I'm kicking you off the ladder for trying to climb up. Yeah. Overlooking the city, yeah, I'm all the way up. I'm like overlooking the Biggie. It's 50 in the bank, who roll? Shoot the 50. If I ace, then these niggas think they hit me, but I'm all the way up.
That was just the practice.
This is what makes you a man. When I was growing up, this was all the protection we needed.
Say I ran it up, big amount, she told me to come. In her mouth, these niggas be hating, I see it now. Bitch, I'm a dog, I been a hound. Why he talking so hard, why he talking loud? Choppers and drums, spark him down, don't be saying my name. Watch him out, wipe the floor with his ass, he carping out. Cause bitch, you ain't built like that. Why you got guns on your hip like that? I used to be plug, how you flip like that? Put some things on his ass, make him flip right back. Guns in the pen, how you slip like that? Damn, shawty got hips like that. Looking from the back in a rip like that. Let me borrow your whole eye, get it right back. Hey, little bitch, I'm for real. You ain't taking shit and that's what it is. Play around, he get popped like a bill. Sippin' act, he get popped like a seal. Call up Trey, we might shoot up the grill. In this jungle, better know how to live. Diamonds over water, bitch, I'm a ill. Swimming in this money,
bitch, I got gills. Say I'm with them shooters, they shooting for real. All in my bag like some motherfucking grocery. 800 horses might fuck up the motor. Get mad too fast, she say I'm bipolar. Chasing this girl like a motherfucking clover. Hit that little hoe, I can't give her no clothes. Make her say like a no limit soldier. I hit her one time, I can't give her no clothes. I hit her one time and she know that it's big amount. She told me to call. And I'm out, these niggas be hating, I can see it now. Bitch, I'm a dog, I been a hound. Why you talking so low? Why you talking loud? Choppers and drawers, spark them down, don't be saying my name. Watch him out, wipe the floor with his ass. He carping out, cause bitch, you ain't built like that. Why you got guns on your hip like that? I used to be plug, how you built like that. Put the things on his ass, make him flip right back. Cubs in the pen, how you strip like that. Damn, shawty got hips like that. Fuck him from the back in the rib like that. Let me borrow your hoe, I get right back. Trying to change up the brakes, you too busy trying to get you a status. Flexing whip, baby, bullet with packages. Painting my car when I really wasn't having shit. Broke in the bitch, but a nigga with ignorance. I was just down bad like a tragedy. Ain't really have shit, well, actually, shit didn't have me. Life passing me, now I got income, fuck salary. Open my mouth, you gon' pay a percentage. Charge for top, but don't care if it's peanuts. I'm all on their heads, and baby, relentless. They talk about money, don't finish your sentence. These niggas know I'm the hardest up in it. I cannot fold, I promise no business. These niggas some hoes, these bitches, they skillers. Doing the thing to get you off your gun. They say the hate gon' come out of your city. Don't care if they listen, I'm blessing, they miss it. He know he not killer, just want him an image. That hoe must be stupid, play her like a scrimmage. I could've been grabbed the gun, it was in me. I could've been on the block serving mention. My dad at the plug had bricks in the ceiling. Romance and stuff with the dope in the pillar. Cutting off front, chopping straight down the middle. He a little bit talking straight through the pillar. Just talking about money would not make you richer. Talking about big amount. She told me to call. In her mouth, these niggas be hating, I can see it now. Bitch, I'm a dog. I been a hound. Why you talking so hard? Why you talking loud? Choppers and drums, spark them down. Don't be saying my name. Watch him out, wipe the floor with his ass. He carping down. Cause bitch, you ain't built like that. Why you got guns on your hip like that? Oh, you used to be plug, how you built like that? Put the things on his ass, make him flip right back. Plugs in the pen, how you strip like that? Damn, shawty got hips like that. Flip him from the back in the rib like that. Let me borrow your hoe, I get it right back.
The next winning number, 43.
Yes!
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. That's out.
Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys are enjoying the content that we're throwing up. And make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoy the video. And yeah, let's begin. Too powerful for Marvel movies. The One Below All. You know, people have been asking me to make this for a long time. Ever since The One Below All was introduced into Marvel Comics, people have been asking me to make a video about why The One Below All is too powerful for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, we'll make this video. The One Below All is the opposite of The One Above All. And The One Above All is too powerful, so The One Below All is too powerful. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. That'd be a terrible way to do this video. Okay, so what is The One Below All? All right, what is this whole concept? Okay, so in Marvel Comics, we have the realm of hell. And you guys have probably heard of that, and it's kind of crazy, because for a long time it didn't exist that way, right? If you go back to the days of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, when they were first writing Marvel Comics superheroes, all you had were like Tales of Asgard. And the only thing you really had in terms of an afterlife was basically the realm of hell as it existed in the Asgardian mythos. It wasn't a place of torment, right? It wasn't where you went and like your soul burned for all eternity or anything like that. It was basically just where you went when you died. died if you didn't die in honorable battle. If you did die in honorable battle, then you went to Valhalla. I mean, it was an okay way to kind of explain it. People didn't die all the time in Stanley Jack Kirby stories. They didn't really have to explain it too deeply. But with regards to what they're doing now, at least what's going on in Marvel Comics now, as time began to progress, they had to find a way to explain that, right? And so we started getting the introduction of characters like Mistress Death, where you basically actually have a realm of death, so that it kind of began to split down into hairs. So those individuals who followed the Asgardian mythos, right? They believed in Odin and Thor and, you know, all those guys. If they did not die in honorable battle, went to the Asgardian version of hell, which was ruled by Hela. Those individuals who basically died but did not believe in the Asgardian mythos, they went to the realm of Mistress Death. And then they started introducing all these other godly beings, right? They became known as the Sky Fathers. They're basically they're god heads, right? So like Vishnu and all that kind of stuff. And so they started getting parceled up even more, right? Individuals who believe in those particular deities basically end up following the path of the afterlife based on what those deities represent. And so what you ended up getting was basically the introduction of characters like Mephisto, Satanish, you got David Hellstrom. You started getting all these different characters that represented what were called hell lords. And these are guys who kind of rule over this realm. They do actual hell. Now, Marvel hasn't been super clear about it, but it's just basically like the hell from Judeo-Christianity, right? So like fire and brimstone, burning flowers from the that kind of stuff. That's basically what that realm is. And it's kind of split into different sections. So you have like David Hellstrom who rules the section, Mephisto who rules the section, different things like that. Marvel doesn't clarify if they're all just one aspect of Satan or if they are all actually individual people. Given the way the stories involving them have been written, they all seem to be individual people. But regardless of the circumstance, how they attain your soul varies from place to place. For example, with Mephisto, he takes the soul of individuals who strike a deal with him, and then when they die, he takes their soul to his realm of hell. And it's usually kind of trickery. So like Mephisto, like you're struggling with poverty, right? And Mephisto will be like, okay, if you ask me, I will give you all the money you need at any particular point in time. And so you'll say, cool, you know, then this is the deal that I want. But he'll give you like monopoly rights, right? That you can't do anything with it. And so then when you die, then he gets your soul. Or that's how he works. We've never seen an example of that, but that's how he works. And so the result of that is that when it comes to the One Below All, he's a new introduction in the Marvel Comics, right? He was created by Al Ewing as part of the Immortal Hulk run, and it introduced something that we hadn't seen before, right? That we usually had these realms of hell, but then he introduced the idea of layers of hell. And at the deepest layer of hell is where you get the One Below All, right? Just at this absolute deepest, furthest layer, at the very bottom of the multiverse, right? So the One Below All is an entity that quite literally is the mirror opposite of the One Above All. And the One Above All created all things in existence, including the multiverse, but the One Below All is the opposite. Now, we don't really know his motivations outside of a seeming desire to destroy everything, but basically it's really bringing Marvel more in line with the idea of Judeo-Christian God and Judeo-Christian Satan, right? The creator of all things and the person who wants to destroy everything. Something akin to that one. And so what you end up getting here is if the One Below All had its impact by virtue of gamma radiation, right? The ability to basically kind of mutate gamma radiation and is essentially the source of energy for the Incredible Hulk, right? That when Bruce Banner was exposed to the gamma bomb, it basically led him to becoming the Incredible Hulk. That what it did is it cracked open this green doorway, which was basically a portal to the realm of the One Below All. This allowed that power to manifest in Bruce Banner, and then he became the Incredible Hulk. This is one of a litany of origins on how where the Incredible Hulk comes from. There's all kinds of them. But the important thing about this, and the reason why the One Below All is too powerful for the MCU, is leaving out the idea that it's equal to the One Above All in power. It's what we've seen it achieve. It's what we've seen it do. In Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk run, we basically kind of have... Be sure to follow me on Instagram. There you can follow me and talk to me directly. What's going on, Rob? This is Guys, and in this video we are stepping back into the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe for our Beyond Omega level video series, and we're going to discuss one of the most powerful beings in the entirety of the Marvel Multiverse, the Living Tribunal. Now, the Living Tribunal was created by Stan Lee, Maurice Severin, I always keep wanting to say Maurice Stevenson, Maurice Severin, and Herb Trimpe, and made its first appearance in Strange Tales number 157 in 1967. And in that first appearance, the Living Tribunal was not drawn very well. He looks kind of funky, right? He looks kind of weird. beard, and he's not huge. Like, I expect the living tribunal to be like this larger-than-life thing. Like, hey, I'm like Andre the Giant, but skinnier, gold, and I have 3 faces. It's kind of weird. Andre the Giant, you guys would look him up. He's like a gentle giant. He's like the nicest guy ever until you pissed him off. He's like Braun Strowman, right? Like, you look at Braun Strowman, it's like, dude, that guy is enormous. But I bet he's like amazing with kids. He's like a great big teddy bear when it comes to like dealing with kids. Like, he's like the nicest guy ever. And then he like take his beer out of his hand, and he's just like, okay, so like it's on now. But in any event. In the first appearance of the Living Tribunal back in the Strange Tales comics, basically his idea was to destroy the planet Earth. And the reason why was because the Living Tribunal believed that the Earth was really kind of a source for like all this evil and things like that. Now, of course, Doctor Strange basically convinced the Living Tribunal that there was good in the world, and ultimately the Tribunal chose to spare the Earth, but Doctor Strange essentially said that as the Sorcerer Supreme, he can maintain balance in this realm, right? So this ties into the purpose of the Living Tribunal and is the reason for his creation within the Marvel continuity, which is to serve as a judge that existed since the beginning of time and is committed to preserving the cosmic balance of the multiverse. Now, in the event that a universe becomes unstable, the Living Tribunal judges that universe and enacts punishment, typically in the form of the total destruction of that reality, which is pretty heavy-handed. The Living Tribunal is so judgmental, like, hey, your views are different from mine, therefore you are bad, and I'm going to destroy your universe. Like, dude, it's crazy. Like, it's not, I don't really like the idea of, like, the modern-day definition of judgmental, right? Because that's really what it is. Like, if you don't like what I like, then that means you're judgmental. No, it just means that I don't like what you like. Like, hey, fun fact, world, not everybody's going to like what you like, and it doesn't make them wrong, it just makes them different, right? It makes them different from you, which is not a bad thing. It's weird how people can celebrate other people's differences, so long as the differences are not too far from the 3 faces, right? So equity, vengeance, and necessity would represent the principles underlying and informing the Living Tribunal's judgment, and all 3 faces must agree in order for the Living Tribunal to act. Now, one thing that makes the Living Tribunal different than other cosmic entities in the Marvel Universe is that he exists on a multiversal level instead of a universal level. And what I mean by that is, since the Marvel multiverse is made up of an infinite number of distinctly different universes, a version of most of the cosmic entities exists in each one of those universes. So there's a version of eternity in the main Marvel universe. There's a version of eternity in the Ultimate Universe, and so on and so forth. The same with the other entities like the Watcher and Galactus, but there's only one Living Tribunal in the entire multiverse, and he exists in a place called the Star Chamber, which seems to be a distinct section of the multiverse that's not part of any one particular universe, but basically serves as the Living Tribunal's base of operations and the courtroom from which he passes his universal judgment. Fun fact, it's also the place where the Living Tribunal watches the Golden Girls. The problem with this is that the Living Tribunal has been very, very angry because he wanted to turn on the Golden Girls one day, and he was told, this show is not available in your geographical location. He was geo-locked from watching the Golden Girls, but he found a way to get around it, and when you're asking the question how it was that he did that, it's because the Living Tribunal used Surfshark VPN. Hashtag sponsored video. So if you guys are anything like the Living Tribunal, you guys like to watch your favorite TV shows while you're traveling, right? But the problem is that streaming libraries in different locations can all change based on where it is that you're at. So Surfshark lets you access more than a dozen different Netflix, as well as other entertainment libraries such as Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO, and many, many more. In addition to that, price discrimination is a widespread tactic of flight ticket sales, hotel and apartment booking portals, as well as car rental providers. People from different countries and IP addresses get to see different prices. So you might be surprised how much you can save on plane tickets or apartment bookings with Surfshark VPN. Now, if you guys still aren't convinced, Surfshark can be used on as many devices as you like, even all of them at the same time. No other VPN allows this. So, if you're digging Surfshark, then for $47.76, which is $1.99 a month, you guys can get a 2-year plan and 1 additional month for free. Now, currently, it's the best price for a premium privacy protection service on the entirety of the market. So, make sure you guys go check out the link in the description. Make sure you guys check out Surfshark VPN. And as far as the powers of the Living Tribunal, because it's so incredibly powerful, because he can do so much, it's really hard to boil down everything that he's capable of to a single list of powers, because he can basically do anything he wants. He's able to warp reality, he possesses omniscience and near omnipotence. He's able to summon other powerful cosmic entities, such as the In-Betweener at will. The Living Tribunal was able to turn the Silver Surfer into a god by simply allowing the Silver Surfer to touch the void that exists on the side of the Living Tribunal's head where there is no face. The Living Tribunal is also able to manipulate time and even make time come to a standstill throughout the entirety of the universe. Similarly, he can speed up time to the point of accelerating the death of the sun, which on its own is a process that would take billions of years. One of the most impressive displays of the Living Tribunal's power occurred when his judgment stopped the assembled Infinity Stones, which, as you probably know, are capable of altering the very fabric of reality. Later, he would render another judgment that would return the stone's power to them. In another of the Living Tribunal's judgments, he considers whether to allow allow the Beyonder to retain his omnipotence within his own universe, suggesting that he's able to take powers away from omnipotent beings. He decides to allow the Beyonder to keep his power, but seals him inside of his own reality so that he cannot interfere with alternate universes. In another instance of the Living Tribunal's judgment, he must decide whether to replace the 616 universe with the Ultimate Universe. He decides against it, but the fact that he was even contemplating doing this shows us how powerful he can be, that he's able to replace one universe with another. He was also able to absorb the protege of being able to duplicate the Tribunal's own power and attempt to usurp the one above all, and pretty much become the top being in all of reality. And so it's widely believed that the Living Tribunal is the second most powerful entity in Marvel Comics, with only the one above all being more powerful. And when Thanos wields the Infinity Gauntlet, which gives him insight into the inner workings of the universe, he confirms the Tribunal's place as the second most powerful entity in existence. And because we know the Tribunal ranks so high on the power hierarchy, and that it can make and unmake universes if he chooses to do so, we know the Tribunal is well beyond Omega level. Here's a funny thing though, like back when that whole Infinity Gauntlet thing was made, that was back before like the Beyonders showed up, and that was before the Marquis of Death. Here's my question, how does the Marquis of Death rank next to the Living Tribunal, right? Like the Marquis of Death was a guy who was hopping and skipping through universes and wiping them out with a wave of his hand. It was ridiculous how powerful he is. Honestly, I'd probably say the Marquis of Death was equal to the power of the Living Tribunal, which then begs the question, why wasn't the Living Tribunal invoked during the story that involved the Marquis of Death? Because plot device, that's why. Because the Marquis of Death was a story that wanted to be told by Marvel, and it didn't make any sense to bring the Living Tribunal in because they didn't want to. That's basically it. The Living Tribunal is what we in Marvel Comics refer to as a plot device. It's basically a being that exists to serve the purpose of wrapping up a story or transitioning from one story to the next. And
in the tray.
Why you doing this?
Doing what?
Four locals, why you doing that?
Yeah, nigga, I'm live.
Oh, pat the tray, bitch.
Oh, mad shit, boy.
You doing? You locoing it up. Why you doing all this shit? I got weed. Might as well. Cause you would complain anyway like a bitch. Oh, you.
I got what I got. What you talking about? Nothing, nigga. Nobody. Some boy, quiet, nigga.
Shut up, E.
Nigga's a girl.
You a bitch.
Nigga wanna act up on live, you know?
I don't fuck about these people, boy. Don't fuck about nobody. Might as well. You know what I mean? Huh.
Watch out for the wire, nigga.
No,
You wanna play shit?
Oh. I ain't gonna walk past that shit. Make easier for you and me. Why you move your shit back? Why you move your shit back? You had like that earlier.
Oh, that's personal. That's personal. Yeah,
That's the first. That's when you go deep in. That's fire. I ain't gonna lie. Look, my son really got this shit.
Nah, look, when you look at it, it's only three. Like, this corner, 180.
Oh, that's hard though.
It's a stream and shit.
That's crazy. Now I said really had
yes,
shit back
but
there.
that's usually just the way it is. That's the way Marvel Comics works. It doesn't always work logically. If there was some kind of imbalance in the universe as a result of the actions of some individual, the Living Tribunal would show up a lot more often than it does, and it would fix things, and that would basically be the end of that. But in order to be able to tell some measure of an interesting story, the Living Tribunal is not invoked. Which in reality, the Living Tribunal showing up and basically fixing everything at the end of the Marquis of Death story probably would have sucked. Because, dude, the way that story ended was legit. Dude, I love the story of the Marquis of Death. If you don't know who I'm talking about, check the video down in the description. That dude is broken. Dude, he is so OP. It's insane. He's like any of the guns introduced. He's like the Prometheus lens introduced in Destiny 2 on the first day. Dude, Crucible turned into laser tag. It was the most fun ever. And then Bungie did what Bungie does and screw up something awesome. They basically fixed it. And it was like, why would you do that? Just like take Prometheus lens out of